Now on 767 News, Dominica marks its ascension to the CCJ with celebratory ceremony. Dominica and Paraguay establishes diplomatic relations, and Regional Forum on Traditional Toys and Games concludes. In sports, Dominica State College retains their title in the Under-20 Cricket Championship. Welcome to the weekend edition of 767 News, Dominica's #1 news source. I'm Alicia George. Stay tuned for the latest news and developments after this break.
Count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. For every $9 spent on Big 4, you get a raffle ticket to enter our weekly draws to win $4,000 cash every Thursday for 6 weeks. The more you spend, the more tickets you get, the better your chances of winning every Thursday. That's $24,000 in cash. So play Big 4, count your Thursdays and win up to $24,000 in cash. Only from the Dominica National Lottery. Promotion starts from February 24th to April 2nd.
Some call it money transfer. We call it helping him hit his first ever six. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Welcome back. First up this news time. On Friday, local and regional dignitaries, including the Honorable Justices of the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, witnessed the celebratory embarkation of the Commonwealth of Dominica as the first member of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, to join 4 other Caribbean countries in recognizing the CCJ as its final court of appeal. After 10 years of reviewing Dominica's constitution to align with CCJ requirements, today marked the last vestige of colonial governance in the Commonwealth nation.
What it means now is that Dominica is now truly independent in every sense. It had achieved independence when the executive and legislature took control of those aspects of government. Then it achieved another level of independence when the head of state was a Dominican in government house, not the Queen of England. And in the final stage of independence, what we call completing the circle of independence, Dominica now has its own judiciary, where its final court of appeal is a Caribbean Court of Justice.
As early as 1901, Caribbean leaders recognized that the Privy Council may not be the best institution to serve member states, and with this change of jurisdiction, many Caribbean jurists look forward to exercising their judicial rights within a court system that they feel would better relate to the conditions of the Caribbean.
We now have our highest appellate court as being very accessible to the average Dominican. That is very important. I think if we send two cases per year to the Privy Council, that was all. Now, the average person, you heard Sir Dennis tell you that this thing can be done online. It is accessible both financially and physically. So that is a good thing.
It sets a standard. It sets another precedent of leadership by the government. I think it's a very important decision. It's the final leg, so to speak, of the whole question of independence and liberation. You can never be that has always been my position, and you heard it today. Independent if you don't trust yourself and your own people to resolve the disputes that you have. And I'm just personally very, very happy with what happened today.
I would just ask the Dominican public to have confidence and trust that the Caribbean Court of Justice will serve in the interest of everybody, not just lawyers, but the ordinary people. We must be positive. And I want to remind the public that when University of the West Indies was established, many West Indians had concerns as to whether we were competent to operate the university in a manner that was of international standard. And today, University of the West Indies stands out in the world. And I think the same can be said about the Caribbean Court of Justice. We just need to trust and develop that level of confidence.
Meanwhile, Minister for Justice, Immigration and National Security, Honorable Rayburn Blackmer, who commended the move by the government, described it as an evolution of our independence. The minister is also looking forward to heightened interest by nationals to pursue studies in law, as there will be the need for more law professionals across the Caribbean.
Recently, you have seen a number of young persons coming back home, being called to the bar, and I think that is the same in other Caribbean countries. So you can see, of course, a cadre of talent emerging within the legal fraternity, so we can have that critical mass going forward.
The succession ceremony took place at a time when Prime Minister, the Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, serves as the current chairman of the OACS, and when the CCJ celebrates the 10th anniversary since its establishment. Legal practitioners are hoping that the other Caribbean countries use this induction as a momentum to complete their own independence process.
The major challenge has been winning the confidence of the governments to access the final appellate jurisdiction. I believe that the leadership exhibited by Dominica today will encourage and stimulate other governments to follow suit.
One of the strong arguments in favor of the Caribbean Court of Justice is that litigants will have a more direct access to its court as opposed to the Privy Council. You heard a number of speeches today basically making the point that the ordinary person will have more access to the Caribbean Court of Justice. And as someone who is very interested in the grassroots people, in the barefoot man, if that is true, then that is something to embrace. And I'm of the firm opinion that may be very true. After all, it is very exorbitant to invoke the jurisdiction of the Privy Council. And history has shown that not many ordinary people have gone to the Privy Council, and one of the main reasons is because of the high prices. With the Caribbean Court of Justice and its innovative form of jurisprudence, more for ordinary people will have access to the court, and therefore that is something to celebrate, something to embrace, and something to feel good about.
It is very prophetic that the only what I would call truly independent country, okay, because we are a republic, we have totally severed ties with our colonial past, okay? If the other Caribbean countries, most of them, and the OECS countries in particular, they all have a governor. We have a president. So it is very fortuitous that the first OECS country coming forward and severing all links is one that is already a republic. So I hope when the others follow suit with the idea of the CCJ, they also delink that part and have their own native, fully a president of their country.
Every politician, every NGO, every member of civil society needs to be honest about it, stop playing politics about it and explain it. It's now done. Let's just educate the people as to how best you can invoke and use the processes to ensure that you have justice in any matter in which you're involved in. The politics now is over. Let's just educate now. And I think once the education process starts, we'll be okay.
Although the CCJ serves as an original and appellate court, it is in its appellate capacity that it replaces the Privy Council in the case of Dominica. The 4 countries now governed by the Caribbean Court of Justice include Dominica, Belize, Guyana, and Barbados. The accession ceremony was held at the State House in the capital city of Roseau, Dominica, on Friday, March 6. And in related stories, Dominica established diplomatic relations with the Republic of Paraguay on Friday, March 6, 2015. A joint communique establishing relations between the two countries was signed in New York today by His Excellency Dr. Vince Henderson, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of the Commonwealth of Dominica to the United Nations, and His Excellency Federico A. Gonzalez, Ambassador and Permanent Representative of the Republic of Paraguay to the United Nations. Under the terms of the communique, communique, the two countries expressed a desire to promote mutual understanding and strengthen friendship and cooperation between the two countries. The number of states which maintain diplomatic relations with the Commonwealth of Dominica now stands at 98. It was certainly woman time, like highlighted in Tasha P's Calypso, as the University of the West Indies Student Guild, in collaboration with the St. Martin Secondary School on Friday, observed in a big way International Women's Day. Principal of the St. Martin Secondary School, Andrea Christian, said she is honored that the school was selected by the UWI Student Guild to observe International Women's Day.
The first International Women's Day was observed on March 19th, 1911. To celebrate the achievements of women. The majority of the world's 1.3 billion absolute poor are women. On average, women receive between 30 and 40% less pay than men earn for the same work. Women also continue to be victims of violence, with rape and domestic violence listed as significant causes of disability and death among women worldwide. Dominica has its own mind-boggling statistics on abuse of female children and youth. The United Nations drew global attention to women's concerns in 1975 by calling for an International Women's Year. The United Nations General Assembly then invited member states to proclaim March 8th as the United Nations Day for Women's Rights and International Peace in 1977.
Christian said International Women's Day seeks to help nations worldwide eliminate discrimination against women while focusing on helping women gain full and equal participation in global development. According to Christian, while they have made many achievements, serious gaps still remain.
They will carry the message out that we envision a world where each woman and girl can exercise her choices, such as participating in politics, getting an education, having an income, and living in societies free from violence and discrimination.
Meanwhile, chair of the UWI Students Guild, Natasha Javier, urged the young ladies to remember the women who paved the way for their development and opportunities.
For years, women have been fighting to gain freedom, to have rights, and to be independent. After years of struggling, women are making it happen. We are standing up for ourselves, and we are making a difference. Today, as the member, or as chairperson, of the UWI Student Guild, it's definitely my pleasure to be hosting this event. We are not only observing the day, but we are celebrating women. We are showing we are proud of who we are, what we have achieved, and where we are going.
Javier challenged the students to work hard to make things happen for themselves in order to make a difference in their lives and that of others. This year's International Women's Day, which is on March 8th, is observed under the theme, Make It Happen. In other stories, a number of officials and other invited guests gathered at the Venezuelan embassy on Thursday as they participated in a remembrance ceremony for the second anniversary since the death of former Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez. Chavez succumbed to cancer on March 5, 2013, following a 21-month battle with the disease. Venezuelan Ambassador Hayden Perella said, "We should all celebrate the life of Chavez, remembering him, saying that he does not want his death to be of sadness."
Quiero decirle que hoy, 5 de marzo,
I would like to say that today, the 5th of March,
hace 2 años,
2 years ago,
yo tenía apenas 13 días aquí en Dominica.
I had only 13 days here in Dominica.
Yo tengo el honor de que Chávez fui uno de los últimos designados por el presidente Chávez en vida.
I have the honor of that to be the last one designated by President Chavez before his death.
Antes de irse me designó embajador para acá, para Dominica.
Before his death, he designated me ambassador to Dominica.
Y eso para mí es un gran honor que lo hiciera en vida.
And to me, this is a great honor.
The ambassador said every Venezuelan embassy worldwide held a similar event where the guests and officials viewed a mini documentary on Hugo Chavez. He said the death of Chavez is sad, however, they must continue the fight for the legacy started by Chavez. Ambassador Pereira said President Maduro is facing a difficult time in continuing Chavez's legacy. However, he is optimistic that success will prevail.
Estamos nosotros,
We are
los diplomáticos acá en la misión de Dominica.
the diplomats here in this mission in Dominica.
Quizás el año pasado teníamos más tristeza,
Maybe last year we were more sad,
pero con el pasar del tiempo hemos entendido
but with time we understand
que los líderes se van pero quedan.
that leaders go, but they're still here.
Nosotros tenemos un eslogan que dice Chávez vive,
We have a slogan which says Chavez lives,
y de verdad vive.
and it's true, he lives.
Nosotros en Venezuela sabemos que el legado de Chávez
We in Venezuela, we know that the legacy of Chavez
está en la calle,
is in the streets,
en las viviendas de la gente,
in the houses with the people,
en la organización,
in the organizations,
en los estudiantes,
in the students,
en nuestras universidades.
in our universities.
Ese legado se está cumpliendo.
This legacy will continue.
He said Chavez's legacy is also present in Dominica with the social investments he made.
When he died at 58 years of age, he had become one of Venezuela's and perhaps even the world's most important contemporary leaders, having launched what he and his movement called the Bolivarian Revolution, named after Simón Bolívar, the 19th century independence hero who had liberated Venezuela and 4 other countries from Spanish colonial rule. Chavez was a devotee of Simón Bolívar, and his vice president, Nicolás Maduro, recently referred to Chavez as the new liberator of the 21st century. Whether this is a fair assessment, only history will tell. But what is certain is that Chavez changed the face of Venezuela during his 14 years as president. Regardless of whether Chavez was the new liberator of Venezuela, he did leave a tremendous legacy, and with many achievements, but also with some unachieved projects.
Chavez's funeral was attended by many dignitaries worldwide, following which his body was embalmed and put on permanent display at a military museum. On Friday, a film entitled Mi Amigo Hugo, which translates to My Friend Hugo, was played at the Venezuelan Institute for specially invited guests in honor of the late Chavez. More stories and developments when 767 returns after this break.
Some call it money transfer. We call it helping him hit his first ever 6. MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
Introducing the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz has joined with Ashley Furniture, the #1 selling home furnishings brand in America, to bring you the most extraordinary furniture selection at unbeatable prices. It's now easier than ever before to find that perfect furniture piece for your home. And what's more, you can add that special touch with the right accent piece from our range of designer accessories from Ashley. Create the perfect look for your home with the Ashley Collection at Quartz. Quartz, bringing value home. Visit the new Ashley Gallery at our Roseau store.
Thanks for staying tuned. The Cultural Division under the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Constituency Empowerment held a 2-day forum on traditional games and toys from March 4th to March 5th, 2015 at the Alliance Française in Emsall. Today, March 6th, the division took the message of tradition to the streets with a parade around the city of Roseau. This parade included toy trucks, cars, houses, and lots more built by students from various primary schools across the island. Cultural Projects Officer and Festival Coordinator Gregory Rabes gave some remarks on the concept of the festival and its importance to society.
This festival is serving and will serve as a motivation for the children to continue to make traditional toys, to continue to play traditional games, and that's the idea of the festival. It also will create general awareness among the population of the importance of traditional games and toys, because these traditional games and toys, they create bonding between parents and children, very good for socialization, promotes teamwork, cooperation,
The students who made up the parade came from the St. Mary's Primary School, the Newtown Primary, Trafalgar Primary, Doda Primary, Bacatel Primary, and Penville Primary School. They were accompanied by their parents and teachers throughout the parade. The parade culminated at the Botanic Gardens, where there was a small exhibition made up of different traditional games and toys made by the students and other artists. During the small press briefing, Kareem Geese, marketing manager at Lime Dominica, who gave sponsorship to the event, said they will continue to support the cultural division and their activities.
We continue to be a key partner to the Ministry of Culture through the Cultural Division. We continue to partner daily with the Chief Cultural Officer and continue to find ways in which Lime Dominica can enhance the type of cultural activities in Dominica, enhance the young people to play a key role within the Cultural Division, and also to ensure that we give not just financial support, but support that will assist the students in recognizing the discipline that is needed for cultural development.
Also present at the event was Acting Chief Cultural Officer Jacinta David, who gave brief remarks on the importance of such events to the children's development.
Traditional games are not just games. These games have a rich culture and heritage value and were tools of passing on some ancestral knowledge or the other. Traditional games are designed in such a way that one can develop lots of skills like logical thinking, building strategy, concentration, basic mathematics, aiming, and lots more. Nowadays, we develop these skills by paying money to centers that conduct personal development courses. The nature of games brings joy to the classroom. Traditional games act as learning aids. They teach children many things while playing.
And a well-known vagrant who asked to be sent to prison so he could eat bread and butter had his wish granted. Patrickson Gravity Moses of Roseau admitted to stealing a number of items, including a pair of shoes, 2 boxes of spark plugs, and just over $8 in cash from a Castle Comfort resident. He was also charged with interfering with a motor vehicle and stealing a life jacket. Gravity, who was found bound on the beach when police responded to a report of theft, was at the time in possession of the pair of shoes and the life jacket. He readily took police to where he had stolen the items, telling them to send him to jail. Magistrate Candid George sentenced Gravity to 6 months in prison for stealing the pair of shoes, money and spark plugs, and an additional 3 months for stealing the life jacket. The sentences are to run concurrently. And in other stories, car seems to be the main ingredient in making the much-desired Booyah Road March a reality. Chairman of the Dominica Festivals Committee, Colin Piper, said there is a lot of elements that must come together for a Booyah Road March to be implemented during Carnival.
So we need finance, and we need to make sure that we can get the finance, and that what it is we are paying for actually improves the value of the Carnival product, so that we can promote it out there, get more people in, because if the government is to give the money for the prizes, then it would be great if 1,000 more people could come into Dominica for Carnival, pay their exit tax and pay VAT and whatnot, and that would be a way that the government can actually generate some of the monies that will go into the purse for the prizes and for the development of Carnival.
The DFC hosted the inaugural Booyah Fest during the Carnival season in an attempt to further promote the genre of music unique to Dominica.
The Booyah Fest was the first attempt at it. Initially, our planning was to we had 2 options with the planning, either to go in terms of a competition, but when we started the planning in earnest, we felt that there wasn't adequate time to allow the competitors to put together a song, because it's not only putting together a song, it's actually recording it, it's getting airplay, all of that. So from a competition perspective, sure.
He said the DFC is open to working with the bands and artists who are critical stakeholders in making this a reality moving forward. Piper said he is also hoping that this venture would be a partnership to produce value while generating revenue for both the DFC and the Booyah bands and artists.
It cannot be a situation of the DFC paying out, bearing all the burden of the cost and whatnot, and artists wanting, a big payday. It has to be a partnership, and so both in terms of the value that they provide in terms of the content, also how they help to promote and advertise the show, all of those sorts of things. The duration in which they we plan ahead of time so that people know that this show is happening and can plan for it.
The DFC boss noted having a Booyah Road March with no money to pay the bands or artists defeats the purpose. Piper said the DFC will begin planning in an effort to realize a Booyah Road March for the 2016 Carnival season. And that's it for local news. The latest in sports news is coming up next with Larry, so stay tuned.
Shopping is a lot easier with Courts Ready Finance. Choose what you want from our wide range of quality products, and we take care of the rest. Courts Ready Finance's affordability means there's no deposit. There's no need for a lump sum of cash. It's flexible, which means you choose your payment term and you're guaranteed the lowest monthly payments anywhere. Best of all, it's easy. Easy to get and easy to pay. Shop at Courts today and get what you want hassle-free. Courts Ready Finance. Easy, affordable, flexible.
Hello, my name is Mikkel Henderson. I write and perform songs to earn a living. I depend on organizations like Echo to collect my royalties when my music is played in public, like on the radio, at jams, restaurants, hotels, bars, and even here on Digicel Play. Because Echo has relations with more than 200 copyright agencies around the world, I'm guaranteed to collect royalties when my music is played in places like France, Germany, Italy, the US, the United Kingdom, and almost anywhere in the world. Echo and the work it does is essential to make sure that the writers and composers like myself can continue to make the music we all love and enjoy. Just remember, let the music pay.
Good evening and welcome to 767 Sports. In tonight's coverage, we begin with football. Malta India Harlem United and Granvinia Renegades both picked up rare wins in their respective groups in the Dominica Football Association Division 1 League on Thursday evening. In the first match of a doubleheader at the Bath Estate playing field, Harlem recorded their second victory from 6 matches in Group 1 with a 2-0 win over Wayne George Academy. Chris McIntyre and Lenica Edwards scored for Harlem. In the second match of the night, Renegades registered their first win from 4 matches in Group 4 when they defeated East Central by 4-1. Curtis St. Rose registered a hat-trick, with Ronald Margot scoring 1. Richard Newton got the lone goal for East Central. In more football, Youth Officer of the Dominica Football Association, John Joseph, says the association is committed to the development of youth football on the island. He made the statement during a recent donation of football equipment to various football clubs.
We have taken a number of initiatives and put a number of things in place over the last few years to ensure that we can see that development take place in Dominica. I'll just can name a few of the programs that we have implemented over the last few years. We have implemented the Under-17 National League for men. This year will be the second year. We started it last year. Also this year we will be introducing an Under-15 National League in collaboration with the sports division. That will come on stream this in the next few weeks. In the women's side, we have the secondary school program, which is going on the 4th year, and this we have seen has been much fruit in terms of women's football in Dominica, and that again in collaboration with the sports division.
Joseph said the DFA also has plans to organize an Under-15 Women's League later this year.
Further afield in terms of youth development, we are also looking at regional tournaments, and at the Windward Island level right now, plans are in place for Under-15 women as well as men tournaments. So we are definitely trying our best and putting whatever plans that we can in place for the development of football. And the academies are very important to that development process. And this is the reason that we believe that we definitely had to lend some support to the academy.
The youth officer stated the DFA will continue to support football clubs and the youth involved in the sport in any way possible.
I just want to congratulate the academies and especially Andy at this time, because right now they have on the 13 league going on for the academies, and this thing is very successful. Those of you who had a chance to go to the games, you must try your best to attend a few of those games. We have a lot of young talents in Dominica, and the future for football in Dominica is bright, just looking at those kids play. So I just want to congratulate Andy on his initiative and the academies, and I hope we can continue to build on that.
He said the football academies have also formed the National Academy Committee, which is endorsed by the DFA. A meeting was recently held in collaboration with the DFA, where the constitution was finalized for the operations of the committee. Joseph said the future of football begins at the youth level, so laying a good foundation for them to build on is important. In cricket, the Dominica State College DSC has retained their championship title in the United Insurance Under-20 Cricket Championship. The final was held at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium on March 4th and 5th and was played between the Dominica State College and the Northeast Comprehensive School, NECS. The Northeast Comprehensive won the toss and sent the Dominica State College to bat. In the first inning, the DSC scored 358 all-out and the NECS scored 123 all-out, while in the second inning, the DSC was 115 for 6 at the end of play, meaning the DSC won on their first inning score. And in more sports, St. Mary's Primary and St. Luke's Primary have made it to the quarterfinals of the 2015 National Bank of Dominica Primary Schools Football Championships, when these two schools topped their points tally after matches at the Lindo Park in Goodwill on Thursday in the intermediate round. It was the St. Mary's Primary that emerged first when they won their match against second-place team, the St. Luke's Primary, on penalty kicks 5-4. The other teams that featured at the Lindo Park were third place Granford Primary, fourth place Bellevue Chauffeur Primary, fifth place Bagatelle Primary, and sixth place Convent Preparatory. At the Benjamin's Park, the Woodford Hill Primary and the St. John's Primary were the schools which advanced to the next round. This means that there will be a new champion this year, since the defending champion, the Roosevelt Douglas Primary, lost a crucial match and had to settle for third place in their zone. Fourth place was the Tibor Duran Primary, fifth place the Siniku Primary, and sixth the Salisbury Primary. The quarterfinals will be played on Friday, March 13th at the home grounds of the top qualifiers. And that's it for tonight's sportscast. Tune in again tomorrow for more sports news.
That was Larry with the latest in sports. And now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Dominica marks its ascension to the CCJ with a celebratory ceremony. Dominica and Paraguay established diplomatic relations, and Regional Forum on Traditional Toys and Games concludes. In sports, DST retains the title in the Under-20 Cricket Championship. And that's all the time we have for now. Until next week, drop us an email, friend us on Facebook, and be sure to like our 767 News page. From all of us on the 767 News production team, I'm Alicia George, wishing you a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend, and thanks for watching.